Well, hello, here we are in the workshop today. I took some time off work today. Need a little brain break. I needed to get some extra rest. So slept in this morning, did some things in the garden, and then I've come in here to create and do some things for the art sale that's coming up in November. I'm pretty far behind. And as I will do, being pretty far behind, I gave myself another project. So look at these guys. It's just a little cement melted snowman ornament. I saw one on Pinterest that was ceramic, but as you all know, I don't do clay and I don't have a kiln because all that's expensive. So I thought, could I make one out of Cemental? And so guess what? We can. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. All right. So we've got a couple of things going. His little nose and his little arms are made out of the plaster and white glue clay that I like to do. So we make those first so they can get nice and set. Then I'm also using some black glass beads. You could really use anything for the nose and the buttons down the little snowman's tummy. So see, they're just the black beads. And then I've painted, of course, the little stick arms that's made out of the Plaster of Paris and glue clay. And I painted the nose, right? And so I'm going to show you the order in which I did things so that it can really be done in quick succession for all of you out there that are getting ready to do art shows and sales for the holiday. Here's another, like you need another one. But here's another project that might be fun for you to have at your art sale, or maybe it's just a gift for someone. You know what? I just now thought of it. You could also, it could be a package tag, so a gift for someone's tree. Anyway, let's get busy on this. All right, so in my bowl here, I have just a little white glue and some plaster of Paris. And it doesn't take very much of that because you're just making little tiny arms that you want to look like sticks and just little nose. So don't mix up a lot of it. You just need a little bit. We can always go back and mix up some more. You just don't want a lot sitting around. It's just going to get hard and then you won't be able to use it. All right, so I'm just going to mix this up. It's nice. The weather has changed here, and I have my window now. I don't have to keep it covered with styrofoam to keep the heat out. There we go. So this again is just white glue and plaster of Paris that I'm mixing together here. There we go. Just like that. And I'm also using these little cutting mats from the Dollar Tree. I really like them. Things come off of it really easily. I have this, it's pretty sticky here. I'm just going to add just a little bit more, kind of like, you know, adding some flour to the cookie dough. It's kind of what I'm doing here so that I can make this stiff enough to be manageable. And then we're going to, of course, need to work very quickly because glue and plaster of Paris, they will set pretty firm rather quickly. Now you could use anything. You could use phyllo, that what it's called, Fimo. Sculpey, Fimo clay, and then just bake those in the oven. You could do that too. You know, so you could really use any clay that will set and get hard. This is just what I use because I don't have Sculpey or Fimo clay. All right, this is just right. That's right, the texture I want it to be. It's not sticky and it's nice and pliable. So I'm just going to pinch off just a little pea size, and that little pea size will be enough to make a couple of little noses. So this is all I've done to make the nose. Just made it into a little cone, and these are little carrot noses, so they don't have to be a particular shape other than a little cone. So it's okay if they're a little wonky and a little bit, you know, off center. That's all perfectly fine. So I'm just making up all of the noses that I would want to do. So I'm going to do that first, make up all the noses. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the little arms. So just like when we were kids, I'm going to roll out a really skinny little rope. So you can see this little bit will make quite a few little arms. And I'm just going to take a toothpick and take off the amount I want, make it a little bit skinnier. Like so. And I'm folding it in half, not quite in half, but I'm putting a little crook on it. And I'm going to pinch that, and then I'm going to make a little thumb. So it's a little, just a little hand. And we're going to paint it brown so it'll look like a twig. Okay, so I'm just going to flat those out. There we go. And I've got one arm, and I'm going to do another arm. And then you would make all your noses, make all your arms, let those sit and get nice and dry, because you want them set. So this tiny little ball of clay will make a lot of arms and a lot of noses. And all it was like one spoon, just one little spoon of Plaster of Paris and another little spoon of clay. Of the glue, another little spoon of glue, and knead it together. So, there you go. Alright, so I'm going to make this little arm here. So you're going to make all the noses and all the arms before you mix up your Cemental, because you want these to be all nice and set. Okay, so then we want to start the head. The next thing I would advise us to do is to make, after your little arms and noses have all set and you're ready to use them, then make the heads. Make all the heads first. I found that that's pretty helpful. Although you can do it, it's just a little trickier to make the body and the heads at the same time. But I started making 4 heads at a time, and that got them just to the right stages to put onto the little melted bodies. So that's what I'm going to do here for us today. All right, so I went ahead. This is 1 cup by measurement, you know, my cooking, my cake decorating cups. 1 cup of Cemental will make 1 snowman. Okay, so 1 cup of Cemental and just a little bit of water, and I do want it to be kind of stiff like this. Okay. All right. Okay, so right here on my plastic sheet, my little plastic cutting pad, I am going to spray a little kitchen spray, because if the Cemental is left to just sit on this plastic sheet, as the Cemental dries, it will shrink a bit, and then you could get some cracks. So I use the vegetable oil so that as the Cemental dries and shrinks a little, it'll slide and not crack. So, tip of the day. All right, so here I am. I've got my Cemental here, and so I'm just dumping it out. It's pretty stiff. That's how I want it. Almost a clay texture. So this is just Cemental and water, nothing else. And I only want my little snowman head to be about the size of a walnut. So I'm going to work him around there, get him nice and round. Set him right here. Going to let him sit there and rest. And I'm going to work on this body, which is, again, pretty simple. I'm just going to splat him down there in a little disc. And These can be any size. You don't have to make them a particular size. You can use half as much Cemental. You play with it, you experiment. This is what I came up with this morning. So yes, I wake up with these little ideas in my head, and I was glad that, you know, I didn't have to be at work today when I had this idea in my head. That would have been awful to get these ideas when I have to be at work by 7 or 7. But I didn't have to think about that today, so this was really cool. I just came out and started doing these. So I'm just making it like a little melted snowman. So there's just a little puddle of snow right there. And I'm going to use my paintbrush to place a hole, because that's where the ribbon's going to go through. And now for my snowman head. Got your body made. That's when you want to take your arms that are nice and dry and place them, kind of set them down inside the cement. And here's the other arm. Just going to place it there. And remember, those arms don't need to be perfect. They're sticks, okay? And you want those set in there while that's still wet, so it will stick. And then we're going to also take little black beads, and again, you can use any color beads you want to use. These are for the buttons on the little snowman suit, and they don't have to be right straight either, because he's melted, remember. I think I remember what a snowman looks like living here in Mesa, Arizona. Don't see many snowmen, but snowmen are my decoration of choice at my home. I have my nativity, but then I also do a lot of snowmen. All right, so here's my head for my snowman. And I'm going to go ahead and put the nose, my little carrot nose, in, just like so. Okay, get that right in there. Perfect. That carrot can be as long as you want. And then I'm using a toothpick, and I've got some little black seed beads that I'm using for the eyes. Just pressing those right into the Cemental. Went to the eye doctor yesterday because I got to get some new glasses. I was having a little trouble seeing. I think that's why I get really tired. Let's see here. And then our little mouth. So again, you could paint a smile on there. This little guy, since he's melted, he's got an oops look on his face. So I've just a little round bead for his mouth. And now I'm just going to set this head right on top of my puddle. Get him on there nice and firm. Set it on there. There he is. You're going to let him set there until he's completely firm enough to move, and you know with Cemental that doesn't take very long at all. So we're going to move him along, and we're going to paint one. Okay, painting's one of my favorite things to do in these projects. I mean, I like the sculpting and everything, and of course I don't like all the sanding you have to do, but that's when they are all set, you just want to take a little bit of a sanding block or a little piece of sandpaper and just smooth off any of the rough edges, any of the little rough bumps that you have on there, and get it as smooth as you want. It doesn't have to be super smooth, because guess what? It's snow. Snow is lumpy bumpy. So again, here's one of those projects. No precision. I really like it out here. It's nice to be out here today. All right, so let's get on this little painting guy here. And you know, I don't talk an awful lot when I paint. I talk enough other times. So I'm just using acrylic paints, nothing fancy for these. And I've also mixed in my white paint a little glitter paint also. So it'll have a little bit of a glitter to it. And so I'm just going to move along here. I've got the white, a little blue, I've got a little bit of peach and some orange, and of course some brown. And I've got my 3 brushes here that will do those jobs for me. Okay, so let's get right at it. Just a nice top coat of white. And a different paintbrush, not that one. Is this little guy here. And I'm just going to dip just hardly any blue, but I'm just going to put a little here, a little there, where I want to have some blue shadowing. So like around his neck, around his arms, like that. Just a little bit. You don't want it to turn blue, you just want a little blue on there. And then I'm going to come back again with some more white, go right over that, and that kind of spreads the blue around. And then in this coat of white, I am dipping into the glitter paint. We don't want the blue to be super dominant, but we do want to see it there. It's kind of like the shadow around the arms, around the beads, around the neck, and then in these little divot places, little shadow there. And then come back over it with your white to soften it up. And now on the face, I want him to have just a little blush on his cheeks. Just a little blush right there on his cheeks. Like that. Then I'm going to use another small brush. And we'll paint the nose. Oh, he's getting cute. Coming back now that the blue is dried, I'm coming back over the blue with some more white. Then you can see that the paint is drying, and so now I can come back over and just kind of scrape the paint off of the little glass beads. There we go. So now the buttons are showing. We're going to do the same thing with the glass beads on, that's his mouth and his eyes. There we go. We're going to do his arms. There he is, holding Hold on just a second. And then if you want to finish him off, you can put a little scarf, a ribbon around his neck. I think I would glue that on. There he is. So a pretty quick, a pretty simple little Christmas ornament, gift tag, anything like that that you'd want to use it for. So I had a lot of fun figuring these out this morning, and I've got 16 over there. I have, what have I got? 4 painted, so I only need to do 12 more. I hope you have enjoyed doing this little project. I have. I woke up this morning thinking, I wonder if I could do that after I saw that on Pinterest, this little ceramic one, and I thought I'm going to give it a shot. And so I spent a couple of hours out here this morning, and I made up these 16. So they go together really quickly. So just remember the order. Make all the little clay noses and arms first. It's easiest if you make the heads first and then put those onto the body when the body is still soft. But as long as you're getting everything stuck together while that Cemental is still nice and soft, it's going to work for you. So appreciate you joining me today. I always enjoy hearing from you when you're making these projects, if you're successful, if you're having challenges. I love when you're telling me you're successful and you're able to sell your products. I love it. I get so excited. So I'm getting these ready for my art sale. Are you guys going to make some of these for your art sales too? Let me know. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.